I'm going to walk you through how you can make anything using DeepSeek V3. DeepSeek V3 is a brand new open source AI model that outperforms in multiple benchmarks compared to both Sonnet 3.5 and GPT-4o, which are closed-end cutting-edge models. Keep in mind, this is open source that is out-competing closed source models, which is unheard of. I mean, these private companies are investing a ton of money to keep them private so they can profit off of them. But DeepSeek V3 is open source and you can run it on your own computer if you want it for free. But more on that later. I'm going to be walking through what exactly this AI can do and where does it lie in benchmarks, as well as how you can use this within Cursor to have it make whatever you want. If you get stuck at any point during this video, join the Discord down below in the description and you can chat with me personally and I'll help you. So first of all, why DeepSeek V3? Looking at this chart, DeepSeek outperforms all AI models while also maintaining to be the cheapest option. It is a fraction of the cost of Claude Sonnet 3.5, which used to be the leader for AI software development. At only 1.5 cents per million tokens, you can create a full-fledged app with $2. And if you think about that, if you get one user at $10 per month for a subscription, in your first month, you're already getting 5x profit. Think about that. As far as the model's architecture, it is what is called an MOE, or mixture of experts, meaning that it's comprised of smaller models that are experts in different fields such as math, literature, coding, and it combines to create one cohesive unit that is very good at multiple things. Looking at the benchmarks, you can see that it's only beat by 3 different benchmarks and they're all pretty close. But in the benchmarks where it isn't beat out, it wins by miles. The MMLU is how well the model generates language as a whole. You can see that for this benchmark, Claude Sonnet 3.5 is outperforming it just slightly. The GPQA Diamond is PhD level questions. You can see that Claude Sonnet still again barely outperforms it. For the Math 500, you can see that DeepSeek wins by a sizable margin. For the Amy benchmark, which is a benchmark of ethics, you can see that DeepSeek wins by a sizable margin as well, making it the most ethical AI on the market at the moment. Codeforces measures the programming ability, and note that DeepSeek is far superior than all others in this field at the moment. The SWE benchmark is the software development capabilities, and you can see that Claude Sonnet still outperforms DeepSeek slightly, but overall, DeepSeek seems to be a very strong competitor, and it's open source. This graph depicts the needle in the haystack test, which tests the ability of the model to consider all information provided to it when creating a response. As you can see, it received 10s across the board, so when you're prompting it, it usually doesn't miss or forget information that you previously provided it, making it very strong for software development. The main downside to this model is that it is developed by a company under Chinese jurisdiction. So at any moment, the Chinese government could request private information from this company. So that's something to consider. When you're signing up for this model, please use an alternative email, not your main Gmail. If you'd like to test the model before you actually API it into your Cursor, you can go to chat.deepseek.com and you can just mess around with the model within the site. It's very easy, very cheap. Try it out. When using DeepSeek, you kind of have to assume that they're going to use your data as training data, so keep that in mind as well. As mentioned before, this model is in fact open source, so you could theoretically run it on your computer. However, the model is 671 billion parameters. To give you context, this is so big you would need a NASA supercomputer to run it. I don't know about you, but I don't have 35 grand sitting around. So realistically, the only way to host this is on DeepSeek's platform and just use API calls. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is still open source and it still drives the initiative to decentralize artificial intelligence so that all these crazy extreme intelligence programs are not controlled by one company, which I certainly support. So to start this, you want to go over to Cursor's website and download Cursor. If you go over to the website, you just click this download button and you install it for your specific machine. When it opens like this, click these 3 buttons at the top of the screen. This will open up all your panels. Create a new file by coming over here. If you have a different screen and it's telling you to select a folder to dive into, then create a folder, go into it, and then you'll see these options. Once you're inside the folder, click on create a new file and name it main.py. Once you have this file created, let's hop over to DeepSeek's website. So here you want to log in, again, because of privacy reasons, use an alt email. Don't use your real email. Once you're on your home page, head over to the docs. Now head over to the first API call section and scroll down here and click on Python. Copy this, go into Cursor, paste this, and now you want to install OpenAI because within this project it's not installed automatically. So come down to your console and type in pip install OpenAI. So once this is finished installing, we're almost done. We just have to get our API key, as you can see. And for that, we're gonna head back over to the website. So once we're back on the website, we're gonna wanna top off our account with a couple dollars so that we can actually use the AI. Go over to top up, and I really like this feature that they added. You can pay with PayPal. Now this makes me feel a whole lot better giving money to this site and making a transaction because PayPal is secure and you're not dealing with the Chinese company at this point. Realistically, you're only gonna wanna put in $2 because this AI is so cheap. You can leave it running all day and it'll only charge you about $2. And as you can see here, until February 8th, we get a discounted rate, which makes it even more cheap. So after you've put the $2 into your account, you can refresh your screen and you can see that you have available tokens and you have your balance on your homepage. Now let's head over to API keys and click create new API key and give it a name. So I'm gonna do DeepSeek test API and create, and then you wanna copy this and paste this into Cursor. Delete everything between the quotations, paste, save. And now we could run this and it's going to set the role for it. So like you are a helpful assistant and this is going to simulate us talking to it. So theoretically, we're gonna be saying hello as soon as we start this. So let's start. If you run into this error when you run it, you need to come over to message.content and at the end of this, put in this code. Pause the video here if you need to write this down and we're gonna run it real quick to see if this fixes it. And as you can see, it properly responded. So now how do we get this AI to work with inside of Cursor so that we can use it in the chat feature? For that, you want to go up to settings, go into models, and deselect every single model that is selected. Then go down to your OpenAI API key and click on override OpenAPI base URL. By default, this is what you're going to see as the URL, but you want to replace this with api.deepseek.com. Click save. And now you want to come up to add model and add a new model called DeepSeek-chat. Add model. And now that you have it selected, go down here, type in your API key. Let's go back, copy and paste. And click verify, enable OpenAI key. And this is how you know it works. If it doesn't verify the first time and it doesn't get turned on the first time, then you need to troubleshoot it a little bit. But this means it worked first try, so that is all fine and dandy. So let's go back to our main.py file. Now a very nice feature that's not yet enabled is token streaming, which basically just means that the chat will start to spit out its response as it comes up with it instead of finishing it and then responding to you. So in order to implement this as well as test out the AI, let's talk to it and see if it can do this for us. So I will go over to the chat. Keep in mind, this AI does not work with the Composer tab. It only works with the chat, which honestly is the better way to work because then you can pick and choose what the AI is implementing. If you use the Composer feature, usually on Cursor, the AI will kind of run with what you said, which can run the risk of ruining the project if it thinks that there are dependencies that are installed that are not. So let's ask our AI to see if it works and to fix our code for us. Modify at main.py to allow token streaming. And let's see what it does for that. So then now we can click apply. Okay, so it changed our code. And now if we try to run this, we'll see as it was generating the response, it was spitting it out instead of completing the response and then getting back to us. So this now proves that we have DeepSeek inside of our cursor. This opens up so many possibilities. You can have it write code for you for any website, for any app, for any web app that you want without any coding experience. And it's better than Sonnet 3.5. And it's cheaper than Sonnet 3.5. You guys need to try this out immediately. If you guys ran into any problems, then please reach out to me. You can join the Discord, that's where I respond the fastest. But feel free to reach out to me to any social platform and DM me. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts, so please like, comment, subscribe down below, engage with me, push me to the algorithm. I'm just starting out, so any little bit helps. And thank you for watching.